Well, it's that time of the year, aka Christmas time. Also, Game of the Year announcements. It's the end of 2025, and we are reflecting. We did this last year. Now we have a new Fooler into the mix. So, what this is going to be about is very. Oh, sorry, yeah, we don't. So just three of us now. It's going to be very simple. We are just going to talk about our games of the year. These are not objective games of the year. Obviously, if you watch the game of the year, you know who won. There's a whole stuff on that, but we are going through our lists of games that we enjoyed the most. There's no other criteria except for what made us chortle and guffaw and cackle to, and just have a good old smile on our face.
I didn't know chortle was a real word until Mario
words?
and Luigi.
Those were all like synonyms of like laughing.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
Waffle uses that word.
Got it. I won't buy you a
Very
view. We'll get you a
verbose.
thesaurus for Christmas. Got it.
Oh, hell yeah. Dinosaur? Let's go.
All right. Who wants to start with number 3? So we're doing top 3. We all picked their 3. We had this hopefully ahead of time. And then we might talk about anything else if we're feeling up to it. But I think we'll get out of the way, unless you guys want to talk about that stuff first. Or do we just want to get into our top games right away?
I mean, I think we should clarify that these are games that we personally played that came out in the year 2025. The good year of our Lord 2025.
I'm bleeding.
And Jake is bleeding.
He bleeds for you.
Nose
So make sure you
bleeding.
So make sure you smash and like that comment button, and I want to see all your comments. What's your favorite dinosaur in the comments,
It just
guys?
went everywhere. It
The
just went
Saurus is
everywhere.
my favorite.
Yeah. Comment if your favorite dinosaur is Thesaurus.
That's mine.
Uh,
But yeah, so we couldn't obviously pick games that we've never played before. That would be cheating. These are all games that we have played this year that came out this year. So since I'm yapping, I'll start with my number 3. And my number 3 would be the Oblivion remake. I will say I thoroughly enjoy. I've only played one stream of it because my computer did not handle it very well. But it was very fun. It was more realistic than Skyrim ever was. But that was the problem, is the whole time I was like, damn, this isn't Skyrim. And I just found myself wanting to play Skyrim again. Ironically, I started playing Skyrim again, which is my second favorite game. So, like, it was really good, don't get me wrong. It didn't hook me as much as Skyrim did. So maybe someday I'll get back to Oblivion. But the remake, it looks beautiful. It played very well. I have nothing but good news or good words to say about it.
I don't know, you had some negative words there.
Some negative words. Again, it's not Skyrim. I love Skyrim. Skyrim was my favorite game until Baldur's Gate came out. Baldur's Gate 3, I should say.
I was thinking 1.
Yeah, that's
honestly, you seem like a
my
big
third.
Baldur's Gate 1 guy.
Never played it, but I do own it now, so...
Coward. Alright.
Yeah.
Fair enough. How, I guess my question engage this conversation a bit more too. Since I don't know much about the Elder Scrolls stuff aside from Skyrim, is it have a very, like, Skyrim's very, like, Nordic and Scandinavian? Does it have that, or is it a completely different, like, vibe? Like, I guess, does it take different
So
inspiration
it's a
from
little
different...
bit different because it's the capital of Tamriel, so the capital of the continent that they live on. So it's a little like everybody lives there. It's much like any other capital where every race, every different culture, everything is there. So it's not as, holy shit, Skyrim is for the Nords, we're going to Civil War because the Empire's here, fuck those guys. It's like, oh dude, you're cool. You're from this country, well we're from this country, and blah blah. It's a little different.
Okay. I was going to ask if it was for the Nords, but you already got my joke in there. So
It's not for the Nords. Yeah, it's not for the Nords.
Alright.
Matter of fact, I think they're pissed at the Nords because of Skyrim reasons.
I would be too.
I mean, it comes before Skyrim, but they kind of anyway. They blame the Nords for a lot that happened after the Empire takes over. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of lore there. Just play the games; you're good.
Lore. Pico. Alright. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Alright.
So, in my games of 2025, I feel like my number 3 game would be nothing other than a little bit of Repo. So if you don't know what Repo is, it's basically like a impromptu Lethal Company, if you will. So, I don't know, I played that game for a total of, I think, 47 hours or whatever. Not too much, but it's got a little bit of time on there, so I feel like out of all of the games that I've bought, all of the games that I've played in 2025, Repo is my number 3.
I think that's fair. Repo, we played a lot of that as a group. It's very fun. It's not officially out yet, so I didn't make my list, spoiler alert. But I don't know. That's a good pick for number 3. It was very fun. They just recently added maps and items and all sorts of monsters, like a crap ton of monsters. So it's worth going back to.
Yeah, even though it didn't come out, I feel like even though it released in 2025, it'll over time get updates. So I'm not choosing games that have gotten updates in 2025, obviously. Yeah. So a good starting point of Repo, and it really went off with a bang, in my opinion. Lethal Company came out, a couple years ago, 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
So Repo really had a good start. So that's why it's my number 3.
Good pick.
That's fair. I get it. All right. Cool.
Jake, Josh?
I'll go last. My nose is still bleeding, and I don't want to sound like I'm hiding sunken treasure from you.
Oh, all right. Hey
there.
Hey there.
Right. So once again, this actually conveniently comes out after my game. I have a Game of the Year list, so this is spoilers for the Toms who are here, but it's whatever at the same time. So after looking at it all, my top 3 games are conveniently enough all 3 games that I feel like could have won Game of the Year on any other year, but I feel like the competition for my favorite game was just so, just good, I guess, is all I could say. Like, it was very close for a lot of these, I do want to preface, and it was a very great year for video games. So many great games, and there has been some games that have reached into some of my favorite games of all time. That being said, my number 3 is Hollow Knight Silksong. I am a very big fan of Hollow Knight. Not like as big as some people I've seen on the internet, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. And very happy that they were getting a sequel, and happy it came out. I think I've told you guys this because I've said it a lot, but it actually got me mad when I saw that they were releasing it this year, because there was already so much on my plate to try to get rid of, or try to finish up. But it's more Hollow Knight. I like Metroidvanias. I like the Souls-esque inspired kind of, type of things that the game is known for. The bosses are definitely a standout, where they're a lot better in this game overall than what Hollow Knight was. Just quality. The game is a lot harder too. It's definitely one where it expects people who already mastered Hollow Knight to go into this game and have a tough time. It wasn't expecting you to breeze through, which in a sense I appreciate too. It makes, so people don't just beat the game in a night and be like, oh, that game was easy, piss, it was awful. But I think that definitely saved some people, because there's always those people, especially with the Souls-esque games, but rambling aside here, it was fun. The movements were really great. There's still some levels that are kind of BS, and that's honestly what knocked it down and what made me put it at the 3rd, is because there's some parts that didn't jive with me as much, but I still think it was a fun time. It was a really just good adventure, and yeah, that's really it. If you haven't played Hollow Knight, really play that game, and then Silksong too. It's definitely a step up, I would say. But it's also just, it's a good time. It's a beautiful looking game. The world's awesome. The characters are great. The system is very fluid and interchangeable too, to change up your play style, even though it doesn't seem like that initially. There's so much tools and stuff, so it's really, really good. I'd recommend it. anyone even passively interested in many different types of genres of games, not just Souls likes or stuff. But it's very hard. Scared to see what the DLC will be.
I only got one thing to say to that. Shaw, get good.
You have to in that game. You cannot not get good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good choice. I agree.
It was like I said, just very, very good. I was enjoying it. Like some of my streams, I guess I'll even do, like when I do streams, like it vary too when it's more just how I'm feeling it. I don't want to have a set time, but some of those streams were like 7 hours because I just didn't want to stop playing the game. Because sometimes I definitely get exhausted like 3 hours into a stream where I'm like, I think I'm just gonna end it. I just don't have the energy. I had the energy to keep going for those, so it was. That tells me too that like that's a special game. So, and it's fantastic. So, I'm gonna let it sit for a while and wait till the DLC comes out to see if I like it more than Hollow Knight overall as a package. But there are definitely some things that I think improve overall. So, yeah. Jake, you still good?
Yeah. I unplugged the bleed hole.
Hell yeah.
I hate
my
that.
number 3 is a game that probably none of you know about. Hooray! Good old Jake time. My number 3 pick is
The
Chronos:
Simpsons
The
Hit and
New
Run.
Dawn. That's an old game. Chronos: The New Dawn is a horror game made by the team that made Silent Hill 2 remake. It's a game where you shoot the goopy guys. It's a pretty big
Goopy guys.
blend. Yeah, goopy guys. It's basically just a blend of a bunch of horror styles, like the inventory systems of Resident Evil 4, the combat systems of Dead Space. Yeah, it's got time things and takes place in Poland.
But what?
Is that the one? Shout out Shannon here, but is that the one Shannon was playing?
Yes,
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so I've heard of this one.
it's good.
I know of it, but that's
I didn't really have faith in the development team behind this before. I didn't really like their games before Silent Hill. But then Silent Hill 2 was good, so I got this, and this was really good. I don't really think it's better. Like, it's very similar to Dead Space in terms of like structure and combat, so comparing it to that is probably going to be the easiest. I don't really think it's better than 1 or 2. But it's like, it may be just like slightly under the original Dead Space 1. It's just not like super original. And there's a lack of enemy to variety, but I love it. It's super fun. Hard, very, very hard. But I go when I see the guy that goes raw.
They do go
Good
raw.
answer.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, that didn't the Silent Hill 2 remake guys have like not a great rep beforehand, and that because I know that I thought that was like a point of contention, but then it kind of was silence once the game came out and people were like, okay, it's good, we're safe, kind of thing.
Yeah. They made a couple. They focus on horror stuff, but they made some like narrative focused stuff that wasn't great.
Okay.
They made the Layers of Fear games.
Yeah.
I do not like those games at all, and I've tried them. The 2 of them. I think there's only 2. I know there's like a collection that merges the 2, but I don't know if there's like an actual 3rd game.
I think I heard that they were just more massively disappointing. Is like the biggest like consensus I think I gathered.
Pretty much, yeah.
I've
pretty
never
much.
played them, but
It's
not that they were the most god awful pieces of content put out there, but you know,
no. It's just more so like I can't believe they're making Silent Hill 2, and like why? But they pulled it off, and I like Chronos. I think Chronos is better than Silent Hill 2. Remake, not necessarily the
Holy
original.
cow!
That is a call out if I've ever heard of one.
What?
Yeah.
Better than the Silent Hill 2 remake? I don't really think that's that big of a
If
deal.
you said original, that would probably because that's like one of the most beloved horror games. But I've not
it is
played
not better
either,
than the
so
original.
fair enough. I mean, yeah, it's got probably a vibe. I don't know much about it, so I'm probably going to be seeing it when I edit the footage later. So, cool. All right.
Monsters go raw.
Good. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right, cool. Grant, I guess we'll circle back to you for number 2. We'll just kind of go in the same order we started with. Okay, yeah, go off, King.
All right.
Your number 2,
My
Grant?
number 2, and I know I didn't play it for long, but Avowed. Avowed came out with, God, I can't remember the studio now, and that's embarrassing. But
Avowed was by Obsidian.
Yes, it was Obsidian. Good. I'm not that much of a fool. Obsidian also made Outer Worlds, and Outer Worlds was my obsession for a while. And I know Outer Worlds 2 came out this year, but again, that's not something I have played, so I can't put it on my list, because that wouldn't be fair. But I did play Avowed. I think they did a really good job with a medieval fantasy-typed game. I need to get back into this and play more of it and, like, beat it. But I really like the story of, oh, you're a mushroom dude, you're a god-touched. I can't even remember what they called them, but you're a special person, you gotta go, essentially you get choices, like, do you save the world, do you condemn it, do you... And I won't spoil too much, but... It was very interesting for how much I played of it. Like I said, I really gotta get back into it. The art design was very beautiful to look at. You could be like magic-based or sword-based, and me being me. I like my swords and my RPGs. I didn't really get into like magic type until Baldur's Gate, when I was like, no, I like being wizards in D&D. But yeah, I don't know. Avowed is fun. I really should play more of it. But as I've discussed on my own channel, I am terrible at finishing video games. There are some video games I even get to the last boss and I just quit.
Welcome to my
I realized 2 of those actually this year too. Hades I actually never beat, but I fought Hades multiple times. And then the other one I remembered was Last of Us 2, where I got to the last level and just never finished the game. And Avowed has sadly gotten onto that list where I just stopped playing for whatever reason. But
Jake and Grant compete for the least amount of video games beaten because they just stop halfway through.
Yeah.
Pause.
I'm glad I'm not the only one in this group that is really bad at finishing video games.
No. It's just RPGs for me.
Yeah. RPGs,
which
that
is
I
a lot
tell
of
him to
games,
play.
but just RPGs.
Which is why it's very hard to recommend Jake a game in our last Tomcast, because he's played a lot of the games I've recommended to him, but he never beats them.
It's true.
I get that.
Yeah.
See, the funny thing about
I don't know.
Avowed...
I think Chris is the only one that's played Avowed in this group besides me.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Any thoughts on your end?
The funny thing about Avowed being on there is, sadly, it's not on mine because, one, I've never beat it. I played the crap out of it. I was very hyped for it for the past, like, 4 years, ever since it was first like, teased. And I just never finished the game. It turned into a, let's look for secrets, let's kind of imagine taking a paintbrush on a piece of paper and fill that whole piece of paper in with the paint. That's basically my playstyle in that game, with the map, filling out the map, because your map starts out black and white and you fill it out by walking. And then it turns to color, you get all the pop-ups, the secrets are on there now. So I wanted to find all the secrets, and it took me, I believe, like 25 hours to beat the first area, and there's 4 areas, and I'm just like, I think I just killed this game for myself. And that's the same thing what happened with Hogwarts Legacy. I really want to get back into both of these games, but it's very fun. I have a really fun playstyle to Avowed, but I just kind of killed it for myself, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun game. I have nothing bad to say about it. It just, I don't know. I lose interest in games. Just stop playing them. If it's not like a comfort game. I don't know.
I agree.
It looks nice, I will say that. I've saw it. It looked like fun to play. It's one of those games that I think it looks cool, but I don't know if I'll ever get around to playing it. Maybe in a long time from now, like Skyrim.
Very beautiful game, or reminded me of Skyrim. That's why I played it. That's why I had fun with it.
Yep, but it's Obsidian, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So I guess next is my number 2.
Yes, sir.
My number 2, it's very difficult because I was telling the rest of the guys before starting to record, I'm like, I've only played like maybe 9 games out of this whole entire year. So while Repo is my number 1, I feel
3.
Number 2, or no, yeah, number 3. Sorry, Repo is number 3. Number 2 for me is a little difficult to come by, especially for games that I fully played. And for me, that would probably have to be Abyssus. Abyssus is my number 2. It's a kind of roguelike game. You go around, you're like it's not steampunk. I forgot what it's called. You're brine. It's like brine punk, I think it's called. You're underwater. Yeah, so like it's like you're underwater steampunk. I think it's called brine punk, and you just go around. There's different weapons to choose from, but you have to use that weapon the whole time. You choose different like elemental or just different like power-ups and stuff. You have different abilities like a turret, grenade, etc. And yeah, you just kind of go around, kind of shoot them up, roguelike, and it is actually really fun. I played it, I'll say my total playtime for this game too, since I'm on a roll with that. Played it for about 40 hours. There's not too much to it because it's, again, in early access, but I had a lot of fun with it. That I even bought like the first like cosmetic only DLC because I just feel like the developers earned that. So that is my number 2.
I really like that game. It didn't make it on mine, but it's good. I just don't really like there's a bit of a lack of variety. What's there is really in depth and, detailed, but I don't know, I feel like it sounds like they're focusing on that kind of stuff, but having to fight the same bosses every time and all that jazz is just kind of boring.
Yeah, it was very repetitive when we started playing, but I see that in the next update they're adding boss varieties, they're adding a bunch of new kind of power-ups and stuff, like different modifications. They're adding a new weapon, so they're constantly adding things, especially with the update that the most recent release, they added like an infinite mode or a random like area mode where you can jump between the different areas rather than just starting at the first stage, then going on to the next stage in line. You can start at the third stage, go to the first stage, and then end at the second stage. I felt that was really cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll think of it better after playing that kind of stuff. But like that was what I was lacking from it being super high.
Yeah.
I looked at I didn't play it, but I watched you guys play it a little bit, and it definitely looked like it had, obviously being a roguelike, I saw like a lot of like similar stuff to Hades, where I'm like, oh, I tell like when you're picking out like your whatever they call them in that game, like your basically your upgrades or whatever, like the boons from Hades, were very similar layout, and I'm like, this slide's like, I could tell from like a glance without even knowing the game, like, oh, you're playing like a roguelike kind of stuff. So it looked like it picked up at least a lot of what makes other roguelikes popular and fun. So, and I'm getting more into this genre as I game more, so it definitely looks like something that would be on my like overall radar.
Yeah, it looks like the combat system was inspired by Doom too, which I found interesting. A Doom roguelike I never thought would be a thing, but from watching your guys' gameplay, it was interesting.
You're gonna want it. Yeah. Ooh. Anything else?
Nope. Good game. Highly recommend.
Oh.
Alright. Cool. Alright. So my number 2. It's a game I put the second most amount of time to this year. My number 1 game does not work for most time put in, because that's RuneScape, and I'm at like 500 hours. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
But the second most one was because I did every single game ending path possible. 100 line Last Defense Academy is my number 2. So, long story short,
That's not your number 1. I'm a little surprised.
It's made by the same guy who did the Danganronpa franchise, which Danganronpa was a huge like growing point for me in my teenage years, like gaming visual novel games. It's a visual novel at the core, but really like it, but even too, I was like kind of at the point where I'm like, I'm over the series. I'm done with. I understand like it's the series kind of was done. Demise was over, and of course they're like reviving it in a sense with the 2x2 coming out next year, and then of course this game. It's not Danganronpa related at all, but it's very similar in a lot of structure. But I think it does everything a lot better. There's a lot better character writing overall, and the premise is that you are one of a group of like 15 students who have to survive in this academy, which is also your base. You have to pretty much defend the Earth from these alien invaders for 100 days, and that's where the game comes in. So you take a cycle of going through like each day, trying to survive, and the enemies usually come in waves. And aside from just being a visual novel, it has like tactical defense type of gameplay. Which I actually really like. I think it was actually very underutilized. Wish it was a little bit more in depth, but it was very fun from what I did play. But of course, yeah, it was cool. Each character had their own perks. All the characters were pretty likable. Most characters at least had a point where I said, like, this was at least had some good writing. And then the overall
Not
story.
That one kid.
What
was his name? Shoma?
Yeah, you don't like Shoma, I know.
Yeah, I knew it. I still have a grudge against that kid.
I like every character had like almost a chance to shine at least one or two routes, which was cool. Even if they were like less, even if I still didn't really care for them as a whole. But having 100 different endings really gave the game enough time to very expand its story, and this story I think is well done, for the most part. It's just some of those routes were absolutely mind-blowing. The main scenario and then the second scenario, it's for those who have played or like understand it a bit more. It's just it was insane. I kind of just like sat up that night, played till like 6 a.m. and just was like kind of like in bed, like I can't go to bed anymore. I'm just mentally destroyed. The story is great. It's fantastic, but that is why it's number 2, is because, yeah, it is like a 200-hour game, something like that. Some parts were bad. Having like 7 or 8, I think, something at least minimum writers means that some routes are just not good. Some pathways kind of suck. And there are some points where I'm just like, this is awful writing. This is just not fun. But of course, being number 2, my overall experience is just much more higher, and I still love the game, and I think it was great. I think it passes, like, in terms of like an overall story over the Danganronpa games for me. It's overall character cast I think I like more too, and of course having a gameplay of like this like tactical defense type thing, it's cool. It's not, I haven't played a lot of tactical games, but it's also one that seems a bit different from what I have played. Which is like Fire Emblem. But even then, it's cool, and I want to see if there's other games like it, and if not, I hope they expand more. Now, Kodaka mentioned DLC with this one too, and I kind of hope that they maybe add some more mechanics into the tower defense, because the tower defense tactical game was cool. I don't know, I like that kind of idea where, and also more variety in those kind of maps, but that's a different point. I don't want to get into too much because of spoilers or anything. I don't want to spoil it. It's genuinely one that I'm glad I would wipe my mind again and probably experience at least some of the better routes. Maybe some of those shittier routes I could just purge, but you know, that's fine. Yeah, peak fiction sometimes. But that's why it's number 2. I had to balance out for my number 1 of the overall stuff, and there were some amazing highs in this game, but there were some lows that were pretty abysmal. Mm-hmm. So that's where it is.
I have serious songs stuck in my head now.
Sorry. Jake, you have any serious songs?
My number 2 is also 100 Line.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I agree. Honestly, the thing that probably holds it back from it being my number 1 is I don't have the same opinion on the cast. I don't enjoy most of the cast for them, like loving them. I get a kick out of his antics, but yeah. I don't know. I enjoy all of them, but like I don't get like the highs of like really, really enjoying these characters like I do in other games. Even like Danganronpa. But yeah, I don't really want to go into too much detail because like Josh kind of laid it out, but I like it. I got half of what Josh did. I played 100 hours, but I got exactly 50 endings before I stopped playing. I do plan on finishing it. It's just it was a lot of the same game.
It's a lot of dedication. Yeah.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, I played like one of the worst routes, like right before I stopped playing. So
you also did one of the first.
That too. You
did one of the lesser routes kind of early on too, and that could definitely play because I've seen some people play some of the better routes right away, and then they're like that, or they go into the new game plus feature, play a shit route, and they're like, "What am I playing?" and then drop it, which I understand.
That's kind of a downside from like rating the game on like a critical level. I mean, enjoyment's different, but yeah, I mean, that's probably the game's biggest flaw is that, like, because of the large variety, you get a pretty intense first story. But then, you know, it's like you get down to the different routes, that's when it starts getting a little iffy, maybe. Sometimes you get a really good one, sometimes you get a really funny one, or just lore heavy, but then you'll get the stupid routes that just don't really matter, and especially if you're like me and you don't care about some of the characters, it's going to be really hard to pay attention to a route that focuses on a specific character.
That's why I did say it does come into where it does at least have a better understanding. There is some consistency issues that I know me and you have discussed off camera.
Yeah, there are specific characters that are written very different throughout the routes, and unfortunately that like otherwise would have been one of my favorite characters, but because of those writing inconsistencies, it's so hard to consistently be like, oh, I love this character. But again, I think I ragged on it a little more than praised it. But yeah, it's great for how, honestly, it feels like a small game at times, but obviously it's huge.
Yeah, and I talk about
there's a lot of asset reuse, but it's good asset reuse. It's not just like
there were
here's a brick wall.
No, yeah, there was budget issues for sure, and I think Kodaka's been very blatant about that. Like, it was a smaller budget game. I mean, in a sense, you could consider it like more of a AA game. Obviously, Kodaka has an established name in like that kind of sphere of gaming, but it's by no means the budget that you'd see for a Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Nintendo IP. You know, it was a lot less having that, and I know he said it too, where it's like, games like that aren't going to be published by those guys because they don't want to take the risk. And yeah, there were some risks involved, and I think some of that did end up in the game's detriment, but at the same time, I think a game like this is very good for the game sphere. Because it does kind of introduce that middleman. It's not like an indie team with two people who made it in their mom's basement with a paperclip, nor is it just big CEO trying to make the most generic game of all time to try to road. But I like it. It's a passion project through and through, and he said it too. There's never going to be a game like this again that he's going to make. So he's going to update the game, like with DLC, add more routes and stuff. And I only hope that it just improves from there. Maybe just adds to the lore. That's my only wish.
Yeah. Basic lore is really good. That's one thing I'll throw in there too. It gets a little convoluted, but I mean, you know, Kodaka or I forget the other writer's name, the other big writer that did 999. Uchikoshi. They're both known for their wild twists. It's not just like, oh, it was actually Jared that stabbed Lucy. You know, it's
they explained a lot, but there's so much that begs to be explored. And I mean, as you said it too, that initial scenario was so engaging, and the follow up with second scenario, as the route is called, is fucking sane. That too, like, lead on is just one of the craziest, like, just gaming experiences. If that was just the only story that I could, you know, like a peak story right there. If it was just that, but like, I think the 100 endings does help and hurt it at the same time.
Yeah, it really, from a critical view, it probably makes it worse, honestly, but from like a personal, like, wanting and enjoyment, and that's kind of what Kodaka wanted, like, that's great.
And he's one too that, like, for people who are wondering too, if there's that person who does not have any experience, be like, 100 endings seems absurd. Yeah, it is, but he has said, like, you play it, and if you find an ending that you like, that's your ending. It's not an ending that there's no necessarily canon ending. There's ones that definitely are a bit more, but it's a game that he wants people to enjoy. It's a long-term game, and I kind of feel like it's that side of video games that have that artistic expression to it, where everyone's going to get a different take out of it. Like Jake and I have similar feelings, but also very different feelings at the same time, and just how you experience it's cool. I don't know. I like it as a conceptual thing as much as I do a game, but that might be a bit too preachy for this, so I'll probably shut up. So, hi, Grant.
Hi, Grant.
Impregnate.
Drink lots of water and stay healthy.
All right, yeah, let's not keep that in the video.
Hey,
I don't.
that's a real ending.
Icky.
I'm gonna bleep that out.
Well, that character is a spoiler.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Technically.
Just bleep the character and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's just
anyhow,
one long meep.
Impregnate.
Impregnate blank.
I'll just do like a text-to-speech, like, have sexual relations with
There you go.
it'd be like one of those like text-to-speech
yeah.
things where it'll just be like Grant saying like, guys, make sure you study and go to bed early and drink lots of water. Wow, Grant, that was a great inspiring message. Wow, good job.
No,
Carol,
you can't.
I would
censor my
100% agree,
words.
Grant. I would 100% agree.
I didn't mean to butt into your section. Anything else you wanted to throw into this before I...
I like Kumi. Actually, yeah, really quick. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think Kumi's probably like Baraka's best protagonist.
I think he's very good.
I don't know. That's a hot take. I thought it was
I don't know.
good.
People really like Makoto.
I
Really?
think Makoto's in it.
Makoto's okay.
I love Hajime a lot. I'm a Hajime sympathizer. But Takumi's
Anyway,
good.
I like the Kumi.
Takumi's good.
I like Takumi. I like Chibi Takumi too because his eyes are goofy.
Like in like they use in like the little like overworld like Mario Party map.
Yeah,
thing.
he's got like slanted eyes.
Yeah, they're
It's
kind of
funny.
derpy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I know nothing about the game because I don't like those kind of games.
He doesn't like Ulu.
Yeah,
No
Chris
ooh.
does not like Ulu.
I'm about to say I would say the main story is very not that, but there are some routes that definitely fall into that. So
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
you were just to play the main scenarios, like the two like the main routes, I guess you could call them, it'd be like very not that, which is cool. Like I said, that combination was peaked in a sense. So, yeah. I guess we'll swing this around so I don't talk too much about 100 Line. I could talk for hours. So, Grant, I think we're up to your numero uno.
Number one, baby. And while I agree, Claire Obscured Expedition 33 got Game of the Year, my personal Game of the Year is Dispatch. I absolutely freaking loved this game. It's got such a good story. If you guys have never played like a Telltale game before, you get to make snap decisions and it changes the whole entire game. I feel I got the good ending where, and I call it the I can fix her ending because I fixed her. But I will definitely be playing different endings of this game because they're pretty, like there are aspects of this game I have not seen yet because I picked certain choices. But obviously we stand for Invisigal. We can fix her, we can change her, we can make her a hero. But what I really like about it is you're some superhero, your only power is that you have the Mecha Man suit. You're like Iron Man essentially in this world, and the ex-hero who killed your father, who was the second Mecha Man, he destroys your suit, so you have to rebuild it, and you're offered a chance to reform these villains and turn them into heroes while the company rebuilds your suit. So it's right up my alley. If you guys don't know, I freaking love superheroes. I love the lore and stuff behind that, and to be the one behind the guy behind the chair, I've just never had a game that puts you in that situation, like Oracle for Batman or Felicity for Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow. You know, you're usually the hero, and in this game, you're still kind of the hero because you change people's lives, the people you work with, the ex-villains, and turn them into heroes and help them behind the scenes. And I don't know, I really like the message. I really like the art design they went with. I really like the multiple choices that you get. While I am full of anxiety generally day to day, the quick, snappy decisions didn't really affect me that way. I was critically thinking the whole time and had to make those choices. I don't know. Really fun. It's not just like a quick decision-making game either. There is an actual gameplay tactic to it, so it's called Dispatch. You are their dispatcher. So as calls come up, you have to assign correct heroes for that call, and based on their attributes and whatnot, if you assign the wrong person, you could fail that mission. So, I don't know. It's super cool. Really fun game. I cannot wait for Season 2. I hear it's in development now, so super excited for that, but holy cow. That blew me away. I was not expecting much, but I dropped all my other streams, essentially, and started streaming that one immediately because I fell in love with it. So, my personal game of the year, my personal number one for this year is Dispatch.
Cool. I want to play the game. Obviously, those types of games beg to be replayed a lot.
100%.
It just looks very fun. Obviously, the I don't know. It definitely kind of hits that. I like the idea of it, and it looks fun. I know the general story because I've watched overall it, but I kind of want to see what I'll make decisions, because even then, there's sometimes I'm like, ooh, I don't know what decision I would make in like a split second, because I'd have to think about that, but you also don't get a chance to necessarily think about it. So.
Moist Critical's in it, Jacksepticeye's in it. I think I forgot to mention that.
I'll say Aaron Paul is the main guy, which is Jesse.
Aaron Paul? Yeah.
Breaking Bad, yeah. So.
Jesse Pinkman. And he does a phenomenal job. I would have never guessed that was Jesse Pinkman.
A lot of good characters, or like a lot of actors, because Laura Bailey in Vizigo. So it's like a lot of like well-known people, and also just people in like the internet sphere, like Moist Critical and stuff. So yeah, it's cool. Awesome.
Loved
Christopher.
Can't recommend it enough.
Christopher.
My number one game. What'd you say?
I don't know. I just
said
like
with the boots.
Oh, my number one game. Who would have guessed? RuneScape Dragon Wilds.
No.
God damn it.
No.
The sailing update in OSRS.
No, it's the RuneScape Dragon Wilds. It's its own game. It's not normal RuneScape. It takes place in the RuneScape. There goes all the blood all over the place.
All over the place.
But no, RuneScape Dragon Wilds is a 1 to 4 player survival craft game in the RuneScape world. A lot of.
No, he's serious.
Yeah, it's. I haven't really played it all too often. I played it when it first came out. I played like 40 hours of it, like right off the rip. I like no life the game. I played it like twice through of what the content was. It's not completely out. It's in early access. They just released their second main like update to the game called Fell Hollow. I still got to play that, but you go into like a new area. There's dragons you can kill. You get new armor. You get new weapons. There's just a bunch of new enemies you can fight and stuff. A new main boss. Obviously, RuneScape is my number one game of all time. As everybody always knows, I'm the RuneScape nerd, but I just had a lot of fun playing Dragon Wilds by myself, and I feel like out of all of the games in 2025 that have released and that I've fully played through as per Grant's number one requirement for this, Dragon Wilds, sadly, to Grant, is my number one game.
That is sadly.
Maybe you should learn good games, Grant, rather than superhero mania, sitting behind a desk, being like,
"Whoa,
hey, Mr. Superhero, I'm your nerd that tells you where to go over a radio."
Fight.
No.
Fight.
Don't worry, Chris. I added it to my wish list. I'll be getting it soon.
Superhero games are not good. RuneScape is good.
Whoa.
But yeah, so
I'll remember that.
On a real note, Dragon Wilds is consistently getting updates. Every couple months they get an update. Obviously they have 2 mainline games that they have to deal with. But yeah, overall it was just a very nice, like, and very casual playing game, plus very good graphics, plus a lot of like callbacks to the actual game because this takes place on a whole different island. But there's a lot of callbacks. There's a lot of new kind of expansion to the like ideas of something that's already in the game. If you're a RuneScape enjoyer, you kind of are like, oh my god, that's in the game, or oh my god, I know what they're talking about at this point. So it's not even a nostalgia thing. It's just, if you love the world, you're gonna love this game in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of fits RuneScape, and then also it's crafting, which I know you're a big you like a lot of those crafting style games. I mean, I just pulled it up on Steam, and it literally says similar to games you played, Terraria and Pal World, where it's like, yeah, right? It's got similar elements that I know that's like a game that you like.
Terraria, I have nearly like 850 hours in. I played Enshrouded, I have like 100 hours in. I love survival craft. I love RuneScape. So survival craft, RuneScape in one game, that's my go-to.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to keep that on my radar, especially if it gets out of early access. Then I'll definitely have to pick it up by then at that point. So if not already, so yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll like it because it has like your normal like skilling things. Not all the skills are in the game yet because obviously they need to figure out ways to implement it to a survival craft game. They need to think of like what is worthy to like of a skill to put in survival craft. So like you're not gonna have your strength, you're not gonna have your attack and all that. It's all gonna be condensed into like one melee kind of skill.
Sure, I might like wood cutting or smithing but
yeah, they just added farming. So like you can get your farming level up. They've got a lot of things down the line.
Farmville.
So Farmville. It's a very interesting concept of the overall RuneScape world, and I'm here to stick around for it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I remember you talking about it, but I think that was before I got back into RuneScape here, so that was probably why it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, because yeah, it like almost ejected my memory, but yeah, it's cool. All right, yeah. I clearly will keep my head in there. I'm already dedicated myself for the long haul for RuneScape here, so I may or may not be farming the gemstone crab while we're doing this anyways, so as Grant would say,
I'm cutting redwood trees.
Grant, what's the word? What's the phrase?
XP waste.
That's what I like.
XP waste.
Let's go. I got him. All right.
That's my extent of knowledge of RuneScape is XP waste.
Anything other than RuneScape is an XP waste.
What is sleep?
There you go.
XP waste.
True.
My number one is pretty obvious, especially after 100 Line got taken out. 100 Line was up there for a bit, but then I played the game that I figured would be number one, and for me it was kind of obvious, and it was Clair Obscur. It actually did follow in line with me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm a little surprised. Okay.
Everything that I like in a video game, for the most part, it's an RPG. I knew it was an RPG with a lot of similar theming mechanics to games I really like. It's kind of got story beats that follow a lot of just similar ties to other games. Gave me stuff like Nier Automata or like Xenoblade trilogy, especially Xenoblade 3 with the whole life cycle thing, which I guess the premise of this, you're a group of people where there's in this world there's a monolith that is stated that basically depicts everyone's life. So when it hits the number, you die. So it started like 100 or whatever and keeps going down. So, say group 70, everyone who was hit the age 70 would die. They would disappear, or gommage as they called it in game, and they would be erased from existence. They'd be gone. So it was kind of a thing where, like, obviously the population kept slowly dwindling, and they kind of wanted to figure out the cause of this, because obviously you could see the implications of all that. So they would send out a trip every year, and typically it's filled with people who are on their last year of life. So if it was group 50, well, it'd be a group of 49-year-olds to go out and try to do it. Go figure, this is basically a god they're trying to kill called the Paintress, who is the one who's controlling all this. And we're at Expedition 33. The game starts, and honestly, that first hour of the game is immaculate, and it's honestly one of the best openings in the sense, because it takes you, the player, Gustav, where you get to just go. Basically, you're witnessing the end ceremony for everyone who is 34, as it changes from 34 to 33. So all these 33-year-olds perish or whatnot. So it's just insane. Like, I guess within the hour, like, you're just like emotionally gripped in. It's like, wow, I care a lot about what's going on, even though you've only been barely introduced into the world. And then, yeah, you set out as Gustav and the rest of the group, or just basically you got a bunch of people on a suicide mission because you have less than a year left of your life to basically try to continue on. It's to carry on the legacy, because each time it's like you would assume that each group gets a little bit farther, a little bit more knowledge to bring in, and leave on this like continent that they sail to. So it's a very cool premise, and one that like immediately gripped me when I'm like saw like the idea of it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good, and it is. It was very good. The gameplay, it's an RPG, very customizable. I kind of will like describe it to like a Paper Mario game, but on steroids. There are definitely stuff a lot of people bring in the Souls inspiration, especially with some enemy design and enemy attack patterns. But it's like you use button combos to enhance your moves, or there's like a dodging and parry system similar to other games like that. I know Paper Mario and the Mario RPGs are not the only games to do that. Mother 3 had that as well, I can think of. I'm blanking on some other RPGs that do that too, but it is fantastic. It's not my favorite RPG system, but it's still very, very fun. It's an RPG. The classes are customizable. The characters were all very well written, very good. The story was intense. I did not expect where it was going for the most part for almost the entirety of the game, and there was a lot of twists. The game was fun. I genuinely loved it. It was one that it was another game that was just emotionally destroying me. I just kind of sit there going like, man, it's the horse. The man horse, anyone knows what I'm talking about? It's like a horse on the beach, just says man. Nope. I'll put it in the general while you guys are talking.
I know what you're talking about, Juan.
Yeah.
Juan.
It's a beautiful game. It looks amazing. The music is fan-fucking-tastic, by the way. Holy shit. Everything about this game is like a 10 out of 10 for me. The glaze has been real. I know there's been some online hate in a sense because, it's getting too much glaze, but it's a game of the year for a reason, in my opinion. And it really met my expectations and more. So, because when I first started the game, I'm like, this is very good, but like 100 lines is my number one. And then I got to the end of the game, I'm like, okay, I can't really like deny it. Like the Clair Obscure is very, very fucking good. So. Yeah, that's it. I could once again talk about this game for forever as well, but I don't want to spoil it. It's a very amazing game that should be experienced, and anyone who's remotely interested, just play the game. That would be it. So I'll shut up there. So
for those who come after.
Man,
my turn. If you guys were paying attention before recording, my number one is pretty obvious. My number one's Repo. So
Gas.
I like horror, and I like funny. Yeah.
Oh, he died. All right. Well, that will be it, guys. So thank you so much for.
No,
he's currently bleeding all over out of his nose.
Yeah. Compared to games like that are similar, like Lethal Company, you could even say like Phasmophobia. I have a lot more of a simple time playing it by myself. So, like, obviously, it's better with friends, but it's one that I can enjoy by myself. I didn't really want to put this as my number one because it's not fully out, but with how much I enjoy it, I like very well just foresee it being, even if I count it for next year, it should go into 1.0 next year. It would very likely be my game of the year next year. But it's almost exactly what I wanted out of Lethal Company, and I loved that game. So it scratched the perfect itch. Yeah, I don't know. It's good. I really like the monster design. I like the comedy style, and I really like the semi-bots.
What they're called?
Yeah, that's what the robots are called.
All right.
Yeah, obviously I'm not going as much in depth with my number one, with it's already talked about.
Yeah, I mean, to make you feel better, all 3 of my games are early access games. So
I think Abyssus is out. I think
I guess
Abyssus
so.
is out.
It's just they just keep adding things. So it's a 1.0 game, but it's not really 1.0. It's 1.0 fleshed out, no bugs. But
I'm happy
But
that Repo is actually on like a good trend to get there, because I don't know. For me, it wasn't the same. Like Lethal for me was like a lightning in a bottle type of phenomenon, where like I just was like, holy crap. And if that game were to come out, it would be a lot different of a story. But like it kind of is just in this limbo, which sucks right now. As a guy who really liked the game when it was prime, I would say. But I'm overall happy that Lethal's getting constant updates, and yeah, there is a more or less somewhat fluid plan of being out next year, so that's fully out. And even then, the game is still very, very fun. So,
did you mean Repo?
Yeah, sorry, I was saying that. I changed to Lethal on accident.
You said Lethal.
Sorry, Repo. It will be out next year. Lethal is unknown. Probably never. Let's be real. Repo's still fun though. It took me a bit to get into it. I think a little, but overall goofy.
It's a fun game.
It can be scary, but it's goofy. It's the same vein for sure. It's as goofy and scary at the same time. Not like overly scary or anything, but it's one that I want to play with a group of people. So it's like the bigger group I have, the more fun I have typically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, it's that suspenseful horror. It's not like not, oh my god, it's so scary going in there. Not like a Labyrinthine where you're literally like, where am I gonna go? I'm scared beyond my wildest dreams. Repo for me is that suspense. It's just like you never know what's gonna be around the next corner.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of on your toes the entire time.
Yeah, it's like you got to make a quota. You're the only guy left alive. It's like that suspense hitting in. Then you start hearing like an enemy coming close. You're like, I'm gonna die, and then we're gonna get a wipe. You know,
Agreed.
It's like it's that suspense, but then obviously in the more horror-esque setting, it definitely works quite a bit. So yeah. Anything else we want to comment on? Anything else?
Mega Man's
I got
getting
one
a
more
new
thing.
game now.
That will be next
Mega Man
year.
is getting a new game.
Yeah, but it was announced this year.
I know. We'll probably do a follow-up with our games for next year. But I've said it already, and I said it a few times, but I kind of hope that next year chills a bit in games, because there was a lot of games, and there was a lot of games I just simply didn't get to this year, which sucks, because it's an overall pretty good year. There were some stinkers, obviously, but overall, I'd say I really liked what I got to play. But yeah,
For me, I wish there were more like good indie games. Based off of my 3, like obviously I played a lot more indie style games rather than AAA. AAA is just going down the chute, and I really hope that indie kind of pops off next year and kind of just blows out of the water anything like Call of Duty, Borderlands. Like I didn't even like Borderlands 4 this year. I played like maybe 20 hours. I just was not impressed by Borderlands 4. So I just hope indie goes off like to the moon stonks and just really
that was
has a good year next year.
Most of the stuff like Hollow Knight's indie, so you could argue for
Expedition 33 is. That was indie.
Oh gosh, you'll get some people upset, but I'd say like even then,
whatever.
100 line and Claire Obscure's budget is 10 mil. I think they said, or less than 10 mil. Which, if you look at that in terms of modern day video games, that is nothing. That is a drop in the literal bucket. If anything, you'd call it AA. It's not that. And same thing with like 100 line. I'd put in the same realm. So
production value wise, but yeah, they are independent, so they are by technicality.
It's like they're independent, but have like a producer like Spike Chunsoft and Kepler. I think is. I
don't think Spike had relations with 100 this time around. It was Aniplex.
Aniplex, thank you. And Media Vision, that was the other one. It was like 2 like decent ones that like did like good publishers that probably helped funding a bit too. But yeah, regardless, there's a lot. And even Dispatch, you could say, was one too, wasn't it? An indie game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, for
Yep,
me,
it was
At
a
least
bunch
it
of
did
people
used
that
to,
was like, yeah, it was a bunch of people who like left Telltale or Telltale games, Telltale, and then Critical Role was involved with it too. So it wasn't like a big studio.
For me, I'm just hoping that it's those like 1-2 kind of developer things. Like Megabonk was made by one guy, and it was insane. I bought that, and it is really fun. Cubic Odyssey is another like kind of like runner up for me. Cubic Odyssey is basically a more low key version of Minecraft meets No Man's Sky. And I think that was like a very small studio of people as well. So those are the games that I've been most interested, especially in 2025. And I hope they keep that kind of momentum going for 2026.
I'd probably think so. I know this year was a little bit odd too, in the sense that there was a lot of big indie game follow-ups, like big clout, like both Hades 2 and Silksong were sequels to very, very already established indie developers and popular titles. So that could have also helped taken some of that blow away too. And yeah, like there's some games that I had fun with AAA games, but like obviously not as much fun as some of those. Hades 2 is in like probably 4 or 5. You know, I'm having a lot of fun with Hades 2. I'm still in the process of playing that game, but indie games have been popping off, and I think it's only going up, really. But maybe next year too, with like some of the big names out of the way, we'll have those kind of stories, because that's, for me, I typically will end up playing an indie game a couple years after the initial release, but it takes me a bit to like hear about it, or, you know, a game to get its traction, so to speak. So
I got one more thought before we wrap up here.
I also have a thought, but I'll mention it after Grant.
No, Jake, I want you to go
say
first. I want you to go first. I want my thought to be the last
we're at
thought.
final thoughts, everyone. First, we'll go with Grant.
Jake. No,
Grant go.
Jake's first.
We go in the order that we
Grant's
started with.
last.
Grant, Chris, Josh, Jake. That's how it goes. Grant,
Yeah,
you
there
go
we
first.
go.
Fucking hell. Now that bit's not going to be as funny, but fuck you, Todd Howard. 2026, since we're talking about it, give me fucking Elder Scrolls 6. You teased it. You've been talking about it. You've gotten it easy the past few Tomcasts, but fuck you, bitch. Give me what I want. Elder Scrolls 6. That's all I had to say.
Chris, final thoughts?
Game's good. RuneScape better.
Amen.
He just called RuneScape not a game. Moving on.
My final thought is that we actually have a fifth fool. His name is Todd Howard. Our first guest star will be
fuck
Todd
you,
Howard.
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard, if you want, hit me
Hey
up
guys,
right now,
it's
please.
me, Todd Howard. Welcome to Skyrim 2.
It just works.
Let's have a
Just
Nightmare
16
rotation
times the
with
detail.
The Todd Foolers, then we'll get Todd Howard, Joe Rogan, and
Jamie, we need Jamie from Joe Rogan's podcast.
I was gonna say
Jamie,
Mario
pull it
from
up.
the Super Mario Bros. No, Chris Pratt. Oh, okay, that's my final thought. I had nothing serious.
Wahoo.
Jake, your turn.
Well, I guess mine's a little longer. Jeez.
I just did a bit.
I did want to say, yeah, I did want to kind of say, just in general, 'cause I don't think a single game from this was really mentioned. Well, I mean, it was as a joke. I'm a little disappointed by Nintendo, for this year. I haven't really played a game I disliked. But I didn't really enjoy much outside of that's not true. Like, I didn't really enjoy anything outside of like the first couple hours of playing Mario Kart and then Pokemon. I have a lot of problems with Pokemon, but I'm a Pokemon nerd, so I still enjoy it at its core.
Well, same. I like Mario Kart and Pokemon, but at the same time, they
did not. It's
Didn't
funny.
need it.
It's like World didn't live up to 8, and ZA did not live up to Arceus. It's a great little mix there. And then obviously, Air Riders seems to be the best that Nintendo put out this year, but I haven't played it yet, and I wasn't a fan of the original. And then it sounds like Metroid Prime 4 wasn't great. Yeah. I guess people really like Bonanza. I didn't. It got me a little motion sick. I think we talked about that in a previous Comcast. Like,
maybe.
It wasn't my cup of tea, so I can't really say too much about Donkey Kong. It was
I will
weird.
say, as a Nintendo fan at heart, I'm gonna go on the defense and say hopefully they're just finding their footing for the first year of the Switch.
I hope so too.
I have good hopes. I mean, Tomodachi Life, living the dream.
Living the dream.
Peak already. Let's just say.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that.
That will be next month, Tomcast. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Yeah, I agree though. It was a little bit iffy. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy specifically with Nintendo, but like I enjoyed when we first played Mario Kart World. I haven't touched it in a few months, and I put like 50 hours in the Pokemon ZA, and I had fun with the game. Still think it's not as great as some of the other games.
Yeah, it's a different kind of low. I think like. I don't know. It's hard to explain without it like fully reviewing the game.
Fully be like, yeah, I get why people didn't.
That
like
sure
this game
is
more.
the game. Yeah, exactly.
It's like I understand. I'm playing something that could be better, and that's what's the sense. I myself I'm that guy who's chasing a sort of high from like Pokemon has been that series that got me into video games in a sense. So like, is it like a sense of nostalgia trying to chase that dragon like it's fucking heroin? Maybe, but
that's a drug reference.
Yeah, but at the same time, I played everything Pokemon as a stupid blind fanboy. Some people will point that and be like, I'm a cult fanboy who can't take anything. But I like Pokemon. I think Pokemon ZA is great. It's fine. I liked it a lot, but still think it's.
Okay, I have one last note, and you guys can follow up on this if you want. Just looking at next year, the game I'm absolutely looking forward to the most is Halo Campaign Evolved. I know people are complaining about the art style, but I cannot wait for another Halo campaign.
It looked good. Yeah,
it looked really good.
Yeah. The only thing I have now that we've talked about all this stuff is a trend I'm seeing that I'm worried about is DLC. DLC seems to be announced before games are released now. Yeah, and it just seems to be that they're cutting parts of the game out and selling it to us.
Yeah,
for more money. I'm tired of that.
If Nintendo didn't do it almost back to back, I would just be like, "Oh yeah, it was a fluke." But like Donkey Kong's DLC and Pokemon's DLC both came out very quickly after the game came out, and
it's been consistent.
Yeah, they were like very clearly like post game things. So
it's weird too, because like at least for me, when I played Bonanza didn't need DLC, but that's just my thought. So it's like.
Yeah,
I guess to me, it's like maybe I don't know if I would say it's the cutting corners deal, but it's also just in a sense where it's like intentionally making DLC as opposed to being like, man, the game sold well, people loved it, and then we had ideas that came post launch and we wanted to add it in. It's like that was kind of like I think what a lot of people thought DLC was, or something like that, you know. Or for certain games, like I guess fighting games, it kind of keeps an online sort of sphere maybe continuing, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but even then, it's like I thought Bonanza was a very complete game, so it's almost just like they came into that idea of like, what if we just make DLC? Even though most people, we've always had that idea of DLC being an afterthought, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the issue comes from like. I can use an example from this year and an example from last year. Staying with Nintendo, the Pokemon stuff was in the data mines, so...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they could have been working on it, but, like, that also proves that it was content that they were working on before release. And usually, like we were saying, DLC is something that comes later, not...
No, and I mean, I guess in the other defense too of like what I just said to help back it up, I actually do kind of remember what Sakurai did with Smash Ultimate was he said we're doing DLC. He didn't have a plan. Stuff wasn't ready, and like he revealed characters, but was working on that character for like half a year at times. So it did take a while, and at least I am of the belief, of what little I know of game development, was they made the trailer, showed off like Joker from Persona 5, but had no actual game in it. And of course, like with that, I don't think he was data mined from the game, you know. So that's different, especially for fighting games. Like I think it's different to say we are going to do DLC. So I think like a lot of developers, like Kodaka said that right after 100 Line, Silksong devs with Team Cherry said that too, and I think that's fine. I think DLC is great. I love DLC, but obviously there is a huge difference between...
I'm not saying DLC is bad. I'm saying cutting parts of your game that is fully fleshed out and then making it DLC for more money.
Yeah.
That is trash.
Yeah, and especially if it's like late, like, and this was the
Yep.
example I was going to say, and it's not last year, in 2023. Mortal Kombat 1, Ermac and Quan Chi were not in. They were in the story mode, completely modeled. They had movesets from I think 9, I want to say, but which is like whatever. But if they had a huge role in the story, why weren't they at least like DLC after launch, or even like way cheaper DLC? It's like you are wasting slots for and this is a fighting game we're talking about too, where it's like it's kind of a big deal. Like characters are the game. You know? It just sucks. I don't know.
I get that too, and it is a modern trend shitty practice, which is also why you can we can talk about like the indie devs doing good stuff there, but obviously it sucks because a little bit long. The only thing that sucks is like for me it's like longer wait times, longer dev, and it's like okay, there's less good, but once again that's probably in a sense for the best. And then there's a lot of games out there to play, so I'm fine with a little bit of break. That's why I said like I'm okay with this next year sucking eggs because I need to play a lot of catch up. So but yeah, I don't know. It is there's a lot of modern trends that fuck turtle dick. Yeah. So
well, that's why I play RuneScape. That's all I got.
Amen, brother. All right, well, we'll probably come back next year, technically, when we'll talk about our actual anticipated, maybe have like a whole, at least projected lists. Maybe there'll be a little bit more info in the next month too. Sometimes they wait till year change after Christmas for that stuff as well. So hopefully you'll stick with us then. But what was your guys' favorite game of the year? I'm curious. Let us know. Genuinely, I'm cool to have discussion, or just say what else you think or what games we missed. There's a lot of games I missed personally of this year. So any final thoughts before I kick out of here, boys?
Yeah, fuck you, Todd Howard.
That's his brother.
Tom Howard.
When we hire him, can we call him Tom Howard? Listen, Todd Howard, I got a proposition for you. Give me Elder Scrolls 6, and your new name is Tom Howard. Congratulations.
That is an interesting proposition.
That's all he gets.
Grant, art of the deal, I guess. 6 Shaka deals. I don't know what the hell that was. That was
a great deal.
That was like
he'd be stupid not to take it.
Last tangent here. There was like a kid once in my high school that asked somebody, I'll trade you a quarter, so you give me $1. That's the kind of deal you just offered Todd Howard.
I'd do it. No, that
Excuse you.
He said
that's Tom
you give me
Howard
a quarter,
you
give me $1 too.
Basically, I give you a quarter and then you trade me $1.
Yeah,
that's what Grant just did. But it was you give me everything and you become my bitch is what you said, and then Todd Howard just accepts it. So
he'd be lucky.
Well,
see you next year, Todd Howard.
We're gonna have one less viewer. Tom Howard's gonna hate us.
He's gonna unsubscribe.
Good.
Here's to 2026.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.